Hi, Phil Merton here, Manager for Recreation Projects and Parks. I'm here just to provide you an update on the Ridges and Rivers projects, which are three iconic projects across Council, which is the Warburton Mountain Bike Destination, Yarra Valley Trail and Ridge Walk. The first project I'll touch on is the Warburton Mountain Bike project. As you're aware, that was a project that went through an environmental effects statement process. The panel hearing concluded on April 7. The independent assessment panel has submitted their report, which as we understand now is with the Minister for Planning. We're hoping to hear a decision prior to the beginning of the state election caretaker period on November 1, but we wait with bated breath for an outcome of that. Planning does continue in earnest for a range of areas of the project, particularly related to stage 1, which is the trails on the southern side of Warburton or in the state forest. We're standing here at the entrance to the Yarra Valley Trail. Stage 1B, the planning for that is nearing completion. During the recent federal election, we were successful in getting $4.9 million in funding for Stage 2A, which is the section from Yarra Glen to Tarrawarra. And we're also continuing planning on the Northern Loop, which is a fully funded section through a recent state government commitment. Third project I'll touch on is Ridge Walk. We recently had a section from Alinda to Sassafras that was open with a terrific response from the community, which includes some temporary art installations. So that's been a terrific example of what the whole of Ridge Walk might entail. We've also got the Stage 1 tender for a whole lot of trail upgrades. It's about 13 kilometres worth of trail upgrades through a range of townships, and we're getting submissions are due for that at the end of October. And planning continues in earnest for Stage 2, which is a range of newer trails as part of that network. And we're hoping to get that out to tender early in the new year, with construction starting not long after that.
Lisa Keedle, Executive Officer, Emergency Management, and I take the lead for council action that relates to community disaster resilience. The first aspect of the action I'd like to talk about is cultural burning. We've been working for the past 12 months on cultural burning, building capability, so building knowledge and awareness across the organisation of the benefits of cultural burning. The second aspect to the cultural burning action is the planned cultural burns to occur across the spring and autumn seasons. Darren Wandon, our fire practitioner that sits within the Indigenous Development team, is leading this piece of work with our Bushlands team to be able to map and plan for cultural burns on council land. The second component of the action is the community preparedness and disaster resilience work that the emergency management team are doing. It's working with at-risk communities across the municipality to build their own preparedness needs and identify where they can actually put in place some resilience practices. We've recently created a community disaster resilience network from over 10 interested groups across the municipality, and we're developing resources to help them understand how they can prepare, how they can mobilise, and then what that looks like to recover for them. Part of the planning with the communities and these community groups at the township level is the opportunity for them to actually have input to community planning, community emergency planning, and identifying their particular community actions. The Montrose Township Group, the Monbulk Emergency Group are examples of communities that have pulled together and have really great local actions that actually feed into the emergency management arrangements here in Yarra Ranges.
My name is Emily. I'm the project coordinator of Community Mental Wellbeing, sitting in the Health and Wellbeing team. So over the last 6 months, we've established the Yarra Ranges Mental Wellbeing Network. The purpose of the network is to build capacity in the community around mental health prevention, provides opportunities for collaboration, and it's an opportunity for us to talk about what's working and where there are opportunities for further development and growth. We've also established the Mental Wellbeing Major Initiative Project. This is an internal group at Council taking a collective impact approach to improving mental wellbeing. In August, we ran mental health promotion training. The training built capacity around what is mental health prevention and how we can incorporate that into our work. We continue to promote mental health referral pathways and provide more mental health first aid training to the community. We are currently working in partnership with Eastern Health to develop and create a range of help-seeking videos incorporating lived experience. They help to encourage early intervention, reduce stigma, and promote mental wellbeing. So we'll be releasing those videos sometime next year, so keep an eye on Eastern Health and Yarra Ranges Council's online channels for them.
My name is Gary Detez and I'm the Indigenous Development Coordinator here at Yarra Ranges Council. The Building Place is one of Council's major initiative projects, and it's designed to improve Aboriginal health and wellbeing, based at the Una Aboriginal Health and Community Services Corporation site at Badger Creek Road out at Hillsville. The facility is a self-determinative model but based on the Australian Indigenous Design Charter, and it's designed to actually put the Aboriginal voice front and centre of the design phase, and hopefully it'll actually reflect the needs of the community and ensure that community service needs are met. In line with the Australian Indigenous Design Charter, a number of Aboriginal community consultations have taken place. There's also still ongoing engagement with the CEO and the Board of Directors out at Yarra to ensure that the Aboriginal community voice actually informs the facility and ensures it's going to be fit for purpose and meets the needs of the local community. Council is the land manager for the site out there, but over the last several months we've had strong conversations with the Department of Environment, Land, Water and Planning, and that they've been quite productive. It looks like we're not going to have any problems with getting approvals and planning approvals and all that sort of stuff from the department. They've been very positive. So when the project's completed, we're expecting the project will make significant inroads in improving the health and wellbeing of our local Aboriginal community and play a major role in closing the gap across the region.
Hi, I'm Jess Ray and I'm the EO of Environmental Stewardship, and I've got a couple of updates on the council plan. So the first update is on the nature plan. The key focus really comes down to advocacy and influence and what council can manage. So 2% of Yarra Ranges is under council's control, so it's really a small area. And our key initiatives in that area are weed control, deer, impacts from deer, that's huge at the moment for Yarra Ranges. And then the other key initiatives in that advocacy space are really trying to work with agencies and really look at how we can work with them on deer control, looking at habitat corridors across the landscape. And then the other area is influence, and that's how we work with our local community. The second major initiative is the solar farm. So the initiative was to look at our closed landfills and put solar farms on there and then set council up for the next 20 years or so to source renewable energy for our power needs. But in that time period, the market shifted dramatically. You would have heard in the media, the power stations are closing down earlier than expected. The grid's being decarbonised, we're up to 30% already. Those changes, plus council signed up to a power purchasing agreement called VECO, and that's where 46 other local governments signed up to purchase 100% renewable power. And that's a great initiative, but it just means that developing a solar farm didn't make sense anymore. So the team are re-looking at what a model would work for council, and what we're looking at the moment is a community buy-in model, and a model that includes batteries, because without batteries now you're not delivering on resilience for the community. At the moment we're going through these different scenarios and looking at different options to transition the solar farm into an initiative that makes sense for council and the community.
I'm Nathan Ice, Department Manager of Design and Place at Yarra Ranges Council, and I'm here to talk today about the Living Places framework. So with the beginning of trying to get this unifying vision of place, we already had some really strong community engagement in Warburton where they were shaping up a place plan. And so as part of that project, we're able to reconnect with community and to try and draw out what their real visions and hopes were for the centre, and also to understand what they were concerned about. We're able to document that into a single place. And so now we can refer to that place plan, and that becomes a foundation for further design work. Place plans are strange little documents. They don't have any drawings in them, but they do outline all those issues and opportunities in a place. To turn a place plan into something meaningful, we actually need to start to put pen to paper. And so we are now working on an urban design framework, and you can start to see what those visions and hopes are in actual design concepts. In Monbulk, we're also doing an urban design framework. The urban design framework now is really exploring what it would look like to have a village green for the community, where they can gather and meet and have a heart to that place. A really substantial piece of work that we've been doing recently is a Lilydale structure plan. The community over a couple of years put a whole heap of effort into telling council what they wanted and hoped for in Lilydale. A big thing that came out was they wanted a heart for their community, and to be able to gather together and meet and to start to feel a real strong sense of pride in their place. And so the structure plan is now adopted, the community were really enthusiastic in their support and their contribution. That gave us a lot of confidence that we can actually move forward with this. Part of that especially was trying to get a position on the bypass. We now have a position, and the community told us very strongly that we want to protect the character of the main street of Lilydale, and to do that we need to try and get the heavy freight and all the through vehicles out of the main street. Now Lilydale's heart is actually for community and for all those destination trips, and we can now go and take a concept to state government asking for their support and their contribution towards that delivery.